Welcome to a new season of Pick 3 DST, where I give you 3 defenses I like and 1 defense I'm fading for week 1 of the NFL season. As a reminder, these are not my full weekly DST rankings. If you want to check those out, you can click the link below, which will take you to the rankings that I'll update as the week goes on when we get injury updates and weather concerns and things of that nature. We're going to kick this off with my sleeper defense of the week, which is the Seattle Seahawks. Consensus has them at 15th, but I have them ranked 9th on the week. Now, the Seattle Seahawks finished as the 6th ranked defense based on fantasy points per game last season, which is not something unexpected given that they hired defensive-minded head coach Mike Macdonald. On the year, the Seahawks finished 4th in pass rush productivity rate, 7th in opponent scoring rate, and 9th in expected points added per game, which is EPA per play. They did struggle against the run, which is a little bit of a concern against Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. However, I expect this pass rush, which was good last year and got DeMarcus Lawrence signed in the offseason, to pose some problems for Brock Purdy. And then the big aspect here is that the 49ers wide receiver core is absolutely decimated with injuries right now. Heading into week 1, it looks like the 49ers receivers will be Ricky Pearsall and Sky Moore, who was just traded to the 49ers a couple weeks ago. The 49ers may also get Russell Gage back for that game. And I know they have George Kittle at tight end, but those top 3 wide receivers would probably be the worst top 3 receiving core in the NFL. And so that makes the Seahawks a defense that I am more than happy to roll with in week number 1. Before I get to my other defense plays for this week, pause this video, comment below, let me know which defense you're using this week, or ask me any start-sit questions, and I'll get to those as the week goes on. My solid defense for the week is the Arizona Cardinals. Consensus has them up at 5th, and I have them 7th on the week. Now, the Arizona Cardinals were the 18th ranked defense last year, so I know this ranking may seem a little high, but I do like some of the young talent on this Cardinals defense. They use high draft picks on guys like Walter Nolan III and Will Johnson and Darius Robinson, who played in just 6 games last season. And then they also signed Dalvin Tomlinson and Josh Sweat in the offseason. And so I think this defense is going to be a lot better this year than they were last year. However, the reason you see them ranked this high is because they're playing the Saints in week number 1, and the Saints are going to start either Tyler Shuck at quarterback or Spencer Rattler, and that could be the worst quarterback situation in the NFL and could make the Saints one of the worst offenses in the NFL and an offense that we want to attack for fantasy defenses. Now, we do also need to say this is week 1. We have not seen meaningful snaps played. Yes, I know we've seen preseason games, but again, we have not seen meaningful snaps be played. And so we think we know what offenses we want to target with fantasy defenses, but we're going to need to reassess as the weeks go on. We may target some offenses that wind up being better than we think, but right now I am comfortable taking the risk on the Cardinals, but they are risks, and so much of why we're playing them is based on their opponent, but it's a risk I like, and I will lock the Cardinals in as a solid defense choice for me this week. My elite defense of the week is the Denver Broncos. Consensus has them at number 1, and I have them at number 1. It shouldn't be a surprise ranking. The Broncos were the top-ranked defense last year. They averaged 10.5 fantasy points per game. They finished 1st in PFF's pass rush productivity rate. They finished 1st in EPA per play. They finished 3rd in opponent scoring rate. They finished 11th in turnover rate. They were just a really solid defense overall. And now they're going to face the Titans in week number 1. The Titans could be without Tajay Spears, who suffered a high ankle sprain. The Titans receiving core has Calvin Ridley, and then I guess whatever's left of Tyler Lockett. The big thing here is that Cam Ward, as a rookie quarterback, is going to be making his first start in the NFL in Denver at the high elevation against a really strong defense. That's just a tall task for a rookie quarterback. I do really like Cam Ward. I think he's going to be good this year, but I think this is a tough spot to put a rookie in week number 1, and so I think Denver is one of the safer plays on the board in this first week. Lastly, the defense I'm fading for week number 1 is the San Francisco 49ers. Consensus has them ranked 9th, and I have them down at 22nd on the week. Now, I know the 49ers dealt with a lot of injuries last year, and their defense should perform better for fantasy this year than they did last year. However, I really don't like this matchup for the 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks. Part of the reason we targeted the Seahawks with our fantasy defenses last year was that their offensive line was really poor. They made some additions to the offensive line this offseason, offseason. They also changed their offensive coaching personnel and have changed their offensive scheme. And so I think that this offense is going to look different than it did last year and not be an offense we really want to be targeting for the weakness on the offensive line. Also, I really don't think Sam Darnold is much of a downgrade from Geno Smith. And so I don't think that the offense is going to see a meaningful regression with him there. And I really think that Kenneth Walker could be healthy for week number 1. Zach Charbonnet is back there, Jackson Smith-Njigba. There's a lot of talent on the Seahawks offense, so I really don't like this matchup for the 49ers. And then we covered earlier the injuries on the 49ers offensive side of the ball with their receiving core. And so the 49ers offense could put their defense in some short field situations. And so that's a situation that I'm trying to avoid in week number 1. So I will be fading the San Francisco 49ers. That's going to do it for this episode of Pick 3 DST. As a reminder, you can click the link below to take you to my rankings, which I'll update as the week goes on. I'm going to be here every single week giving you the 3 defenses I like and 1 defense I'm fading. So make sure you click below to like and subscribe to get this video and all of our fantasy football content and regular football content over at NBC Sports. Good luck on Sunday.